Today, we're digging into Proverbs 7. Now, this chapter offers a strong warning against the adulterous woman. And I'll be honest, at first I wondered, how does this connect to our purpose? But as I reflected and prayed, I realized that wisdom here is timeless and deeply relevant to the path God has set before us. Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Richards Scott, and I'm your Purpose Guide, and this is Purpose Quest. Let's start with our anchor verse. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 4 says, "So say to wisdom, you are my sister, and to insight, you are my relative." I just love this image. Wisdom and insight are meant to be as close to us as family. Think about that for a moment. A sister or a close relative is someone you trust, someone who knows you and loves you deeply. That's how wisdom needs to be in our lives. And here's the promise that we have in James chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. What a reassurance that we don't have to navigate life on our own. Now, to really grasp this, let's look at the full context of the chapter. Proverbs 7, 1-3 tells us, "My son, keep your words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your finger. Write them on the tablet of your heart." This paints such a beautiful picture of staying grounded in God's word. It's not just about hearing wisdom or reading it occasionally. It's about storing it deeply within us. It's about binding it on our lives so that we never forget. Think about that string tied around your finger to remind you of something important. God's word is meant to be that constant reminder written on the tablets of our heart. And why is this so crucial? Verse 5 says, "They will keep you from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words." Okay, let's talk about this for a moment. For us, the adulterous woman doesn't have to be literal. She represents anything that lures us away from our purpose: distractions, temptations, shiny objects that seem promising but ultimately lead to destruction. We've all been there. Maybe it's procrastination, a pursuit of comfort, or something that looks good on paper but isn't what God has called us to. I know that I've stepped off the path before. For 6 years, I devoted myself to something that seemed right, working a job that I loved, but God kept tapping me on my shoulder, reminding me, this is good, but it's not what I've called you to. And the good news is this: God is always ready to welcome us back, just like the prodigal son. We can return to the path with humility and with a renewed commitment. And when we do, we're stronger, we're wiser for the journey. So, let me ask you, what is it that's adulterous in your life? Who is that adulterous woman? What's pulling you off your path? Maybe it's distractions, fear, or even comparison. Whatever it is, let's commit to identifying it and surrendering it to God. Because when we stay on the path He's called us to, there's no limit to the purpose, no limit to the provision, and no limit to the impact that He's planned for us. Here's what I'd like you to do this week. Spend some time in prayer and reflection. Write down anything that's pulling you away from your purpose. And then ask God for wisdom. Remember, He gives it generously, and commit to walking in alignment with Him. I'll see you next time as we dive into Proverbs chapter 8. Stay focused, stay faithful, and stay on the path that God has for you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And always remember this truth. You were entrusted, equipped, and empowered for your purpose. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video.